Thought I'd take a minute and mention another dream that came to mind. Probably the same time I dreamt about my mom passing away, I had a different type of nightmare or a premonition, or was it a past life memory, or was it MK Ultra? Who knows at this point? But a little bit of background information. I'd been struggling with the option of going to what's called WOOFing. It's a World Organization of Organic Farming. And these are places with obviously farms around the world that offer lodging, like room and board for work, right? So when I was tired of struggling on the system, I considered that as an option, thinking, what do we really need money for? And a friend of mine reminded me that we need money for cigarettes and clean underwear and socks. So he has a point. But this dream came to me at the same time that I dreamt about my mother. Like I said, it was about, I believe, one of these farms that I had considered going to. At least that seemed to be the layout. But what happened was, because I was there under, like, not on the books kind of thing, like outside of the system, I would say, um, my presence was a surprise to what ended up happening. There was an incident. I came up to a glass building that was on the property, and it looked like some type of veterinary, like onboard veterinary service that they had on the farm, which is pretty smart if you got livestock, right? So I come around to the front of this building, and to my surprise, I find a bunch of people in lab coats with needles hovering over a bunch of other people in lab coats that were like on the floor or being ministered with needles. That were the people that were being administered to looked like the actual veterinarians. Who these other people in lab coats were, I had no idea. This was in the summer of 2014, or the spring of 2014, so before COVID had even come. And they saw me and they're like, who's this guy? Like I said, they were surprised to see me. I was surprised to stumble across what I'd seen. So I don't know, I instantly started booking it because it doesn't take long to figure out something's not right here. And they pursued, so people that weren't already rounded up or whatever were tracked down. So there was this dog that looked either robotic in part, but it had flesh and the flesh was decaying. And this dog was chasing after me, right? And I could see other dogs chasing other people, and there's no way you could outrun it. And behind the dog was a guy in a lab coat running with a cloth sack. Pretty strange, right? It gets even stranger. I look over to my right as I'm running, and I see a guy where the dog nips the back of his ankle. And in the instant that the dog touched him with his tooth, the man turned into all of his flesh and bones left, and he was just blood. No organs or anything. He was a pile of blood that was like hovering in the air for a moment as the guy with the sack came and collected the blood before it could land on the ground. So if you want to try and interpret a dream, try and interpret that. But if the blood is the life, then I think you can get what it's trying to say. Anyway, needless to say, I never ended up going to a woofing place. Maybe I prevent. What happened in the dream at the end, just before I woke up, the dog caught up to me and was about to pounce, and then I woke up. So, did I bypass that ending, or was it just spirit trying to let me know that times are more serious than maybe my waking mind wanted to recognize? Cheers, everyone. Blessings.